If it is or if it ain't, it's gonna come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is January the 17th, 2023, and today the topic is what God has joined together. Happy Tuesday, right? Happy Tuesday. I hope that you all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. Nothing too much to report other than your girl was out there hustling in the streets, trying to get these dollars up and everything like that. My little guy went with me yesterday as well, so that was always good. Chit-chatted with my mom as well, so she might as well been in the car with us because she was there pretty much majority of the time. But yeah, everything went well. I hit my goal early pretty much, and so yeah, I came on back home. I wasn't out that long, but yeah, that was what yesterday looked like. And I guess there's a lot of things that was swirling around my mind this morning. Yes, in regards to the topic, but then just in general as well. Long story short, well, I guess I'm kind of convicted in some ways or whatever. Shout out to my guy right there, Mr. Frank, new Frank. I guess I'm kind of convicted in a way because I feel like I guess I need to take this whole marriage counseling thing. I need to take it seriously. Because I keep coming across like different opportunities, and on one hand, I feel like I'm not necessarily prepared for these opportunities because I'm not quote unquote trained. I can only go off of what my experience and just giving general relationship advice and things of that nature. But yeah, obviously I need to get back in touch with Mr. Brent because he had reached out to me and I haven't gotten back to him yet, but because of, what the Lord's revealing to me this morning, as well as some other things, I'm just like, I might need to reach out to him today and see what we can talk about and chat about. But in the meantime, y'all, you guys can get some information from marriagereignited.com. And y'all know that there are discount codes associated with yours truly. So if you guys use Miracle Video, you can get $5 off of the video. And if you use Miracle Combo, you can get $10 off of the video and the book. There are some resources for couples that are engaged, couples that are married, and couples that are separated. There is information and resources out there available. And in the meantime, y'all be praying because your girl might need to go ahead and get this marriage coaching certification or whatever the case is. So y'all be praying for your girl about that. But anyway, So what God has joined together. I guess there's a few things that kind of led me to this morning again. But the main thing was that I woke up, it had to have been before this time, but I didn't look at the clock until it was 2:18. And I didn't go back to sleep, or maybe I did. You know what? I think I probably did. I went back to sleep briefly, but yeah, when I woke back up, I did my prayer meditation, which was good. The main thing I remember from it was talking about like basically how we can't do anything apart from God, and because he is divine and we're the branches and things like that, right? So that's pretty much what the prayer meditation was about this morning that I listened to. But when I started to look up verses centered around 2:18, The main one that I saw was Genesis 2:18. And when I read it, again, I felt that conviction in regards to this conversation about marriage and all this different type of stuff. So that's where the inspiration came from today. So if you were to look into Genesis 2:18, this is what it would say. It says, and the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him. So, now obviously, this automatically made me think about marriage. It automatically made me think about husbands and wives and things like that. However, I feel like the Lord led me down a different path and gave me a different focus today in regards to this conversation. Yes, there is plenty that the word has to say to husbands and wives and all of that. But I think what the Lord, pretty much what the Lord had me working on or studying this morning was this concept of help me, this concept, like the basics of that verse. And the basics of it is that he created a help meet for him. So when I looked up the definition of help meet, first I came across help mate, and I was getting ready to write that definition down, but then I saw a biblical definition of help meet. So I wrote that down first, and that says one who helps. So it just literally means one who helps. Then when I wrote down the definition for help mate, it says a helpful companion or partner, especially one's husband or wife. So now the interesting thing about this is that I came across another, I don't know if it was another definition or maybe it was just another description of help me. And it started talking about why this is used to show that wives should be subservient to their husbands. And I'm like, what? Like this, because the definitions don't reflect that, and the verse doesn't necessarily reflect that either. So, but unfortunately, this is the narrative, right? This is the thing that people have to say about the Bible. This is things that people take issue with when it comes to the dynamics of a husband and wife, the dynamics of men and women, all of this type of stuff, right? And I guess we'll get into that in a second. But eventually I just felt led to just go deeper again with this help meet thing. And so I ended up just looking up the word help. I was like, what does help mean? Remind me, Lord, And so the word help, the definition says, make it easier for someone to do something by offering one's services or resources. So, I mean, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't all of us need help every now and then? I definitely need help every now and then. Now, why is that so much of an issue in a marriage? Why is that so much an issue when it comes to husbands and wives? This concept of being there or helping or anything like that. Even this concept of service, like, I was going deeper and even looking into that this morning because I'm just like, people really make light of quote unquote servitude, right? People look at it in a certain way. And according to the Bible, now I've come across these verses, y'all got to read it for yourself, but I've come across the verses that say the greatest in the kingdom are the ones that serve. Like, has anybody else come across them verses? So, I mean, why do we think of service as less than for some reason? Now, again, I feel like that just goes back to the spiritual aspect of everything. And, whatever the Bible say, the world says the opposite. So obviously, I guess the world is pushing this idea that servitude is less than for some reason when the Bible says the opposite. But I mean, anyway, aside from that, right? This is what I took a deep dive into this morning. This is what I kind of started to really, really kind of just look into, because there's so many issues and so many things when it comes to marriage. And And then men and women, the dynamics between men and women, and just all of these different things. And so let's see what the Bible has to say. So I felt led to write down Matthew 19:4-6 today. And it says, he answered, have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female, and said, therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate, or let not man separate. So here's the interesting thing that came to me this morning as I was reading this verse. Everything is trying to separate this union when you really, really, truly think about it. Like, not only, again, the tension that is between men and women, then this idea of, quote unquote, the role of a man and a woman in a marriage, and husband between husbands and wives, and that dynamic that's causing issues as well. Then this is even deeper, but I mean, obviously we understand that, with the, no judgment on my end, I'm just gonna call it out, with the LGBT movement and everything like that, the concept of men and women is blurred, right? And then it goes even deeper than that to, the concept of self, right? To even know if we are men and women. That is something that is coming against what God has put together, or what God has has joined together. And so now, again, I understand that that's spiritual, right? I understand that that's a spiritual attack against life and everything that God has created. That's what I see when I think about all of that. But if I just focus, right, on this conversation of what God has joined together in regards to men and women, husbands and wives, I mean, it's saying here that the two shall become one. And when I went deeper, there's only one thing that I wrote in the Go Deeper section today, and that's an article that I came across, and I felt like it explained it in a beautiful way. The real reason why God said it is not good for a man to be alone, because that was something else I was asking as well. I was like, well, Lord, why did you say that it wasn't good for a man to be alone? Because I mean, these days people feel as if they would rather be alone than to be married. There's a lot of people that are like that. And then on the flip side, there's others that have strong desires for marriage and whatnot. But then there are verses that say that, hey, if you are single, you don't necessarily need to be looking for a spouse. You need to be focused on whatever it is the Lord wants you to do and that relationship with the Lord. But it also says that if you find a wife, if a man finds a wife, then he finds a good thing, and X, Y, and Z, and marriage should be honored and everything like that. And so I know, again, that this can go deep when we think about, the two individuals becoming one, right? Because again, there's plenty in the word that the word has plenty to say to husbands, right? And it has plenty to say to wives, and it has plenty to say to the two coming together, and all these different things. But again, if we focus just on the basics, right? What God is joined together. And this is another verse that I felt led to share. So Ecclesiastes 4:9-12, it says, two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up all fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up. Again, if two lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, two will withstand him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. So now again, that article that I came across in Crosswalk, does address the idea of not saying that, a human is not fully human alone, right? But at the same time, there is something from my understanding, there is something beautiful about the union of two. There is something symbolic about the union of two, which is why I feel like ultimately there's this full-on spiritual attack against the union of two, the biblical union of two, what God created to be the union of two, husband and wife. And so I mean, that's deep, obviously everybody can go deep about that concept and about everything that the word has to say, again, to the two individuals and everything like that. But I just really feel like, I guess at this point, we really need to pay attention to this. And those of us that are married and things like that, I just say fight for your marriages, but yeah, I like when I look at I guess different things that I've observed, and when it comes to different relationships, marriages, engagements, any of that, or I'll just say this, just the dynamics between men and women, right? The ongoing tension that seems to be there between men and women. I mean, yeah, it's saddening in some ways. It's something that is like, wow, Lord, you created this thing to be a beautiful union, but it's become this thing where people don't even value it. It's become this thing where people, I mean, the word comes in my mind is like have disdain for marriage, right? They have disdain for this thing that God has created, this union. And I mean, yes, I know we need to pray, right? We all need to pray for marriages, right? We need to pray for couples and stuff like that. And again, the word addresses a lot of issues. It addresses infidelity, it addresses how husbands should treat their wives, it addresses how wives should treat their husbands, and all those different things. And so, I mean, honestly, there's plenty of room for kingdom people to encourage and inspire the people that are coming up, but unfortunately there's a gap there. Unfortunately there aren't many, not say they're not couples that are happy, because I do believe that there are plenty of couples that are happy, but I don't think they get as much quote unquote airtime as couples that are unhappy. I feel like, especially on mainstream media, like you might be able to see some real kingdom couples and things like that on YouTube or something like that, but when it comes to mainstream media, I mean, you more so see like the negative. So I don't know what all the Lord wants me to do about that myself. Again, I already told y'all, like, I feel convicted, and I feel like I probably need to, again, take this marriage counseling thing a little bit more seriously. Here's the thing. Here's another thing. Like, I enjoy being a wife, right? I enjoy being a wife. Like, not only because this is something that I prayed for and all this type of stuff, like, oh yes, I've wanted this for so long, and so finally I'm here at X, Y, and Z. Now, am I perfect, or anything like that? No, at the end of the day, there are a lot of things that I'm sure my husband compromises on as well as I do. But I feel like what the Bible describes is in action in our relationship. There are times when I've been down, right, and he's been there to lift me up, right, and vice versa. There are times just across the board, y'all. I mean, when he met me, I wasn't in like the highest echelon of finances and all these different things, and then now that he's in a transition between, careers and he's embarking on what he really, really wants to do and stuff like that, it looks a little different. And the Lord is providing, and, and so I guess the thing is, it's just very interesting. Like, again, observing the dynamics between men and women, observing those that are in marriage or want to be, but then we all struggle, right? We all struggle with different aspects of everything. So I don't know. It's just something to think about today. That's what I ended up studying today. I mean, I hope that you guys, everyone that listens to the sound of my voice, hope that you all are encouraged and inspired to go deeper with getting more understanding in regards to this, because again, it is a powerful union. It is something that is supposed to be honored, and it is something that the Lord created. And I mean, hey, y'all, that's the juice. That's the juice this morning. Again, I know there's so much to say and go into when it comes to, again, biblical marriage and husbands and wives and all this different type of stuff. But I don't know. I didn't feel led to go into all of that today. I just feel led to just focus on the basics and just think about what God has joined together. Just this concept of being a helpmeet and being a help to somebody. Like, and here's the thing. And I guess I'll say this, and I guess I'll be done unless the Lord want me to continue on talking. Like, if you're not willing to help somebody or to be a help to somebody, then marriage might not be your calling at the moment or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, because just like it's us helping each other. Like, I mean, even that Bible verse I just shared, Ecclesiastes 4:9-12, it's showing different ways how two is better than one. When one falls, the other can pick the other one up. Like, you have to be willing to, at bare minimum, help. That's bare minimum. That's not even getting into sex and everything else. Like that's not even getting into, are you willing to be a help to someone? And if not, then you're probably not willing to be a spouse to someone. And I guess that's the juice. The Bible verse of today is 1 John 5:14. It says, and this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. Friends, I hope y'all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
This episode was sponsored in part by the A1 Mission Agency, book number 1, The Origin, a Christian espionage series written by Timothy Bevan. This is the first book of the 7-book series that follows the espionage-filled lives of Toby, Scott, and Scooter, and explores themes such as lukewarmness, self-righteousness, redemption, and good versus evil. Purchase your copy today at Amazon. Hey, it's your girl Miracle Sims. Once again, I'm just coming back to let you all know that I really truly felt led to share today's after show with you all. For those that don't know, I record this live every day on YouTube and Facebook, and so I am going to add in today's Facebook Live. I was asked a few questions and things like that, and I ended up going a little bit deeper about today's topic. So I hope that you all enjoy the rest of this episode. If you all like listening to the after show, then by all means tune in to us live on our YouTube channel, or let me know here and say, hey Miracle, we want to hear those after shows audio versions as well. All right, enjoy.
There you go. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, anybody listening to the sound of my voice. I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Look, New Frank says this is a good subject. Well, thanks, New Frank. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I just feel like it's just the basics at this point. It wasn't even getting into all the different aspects of marriage. I mean, unfortunately, as I was looking up this too, I kept seeing a lot of things about divorce and stuff. And I just was like, well, Lord, I understand what it's saying about divorce and everything like that. And I mean, there is room or whatnot. I mean, it talks about if an unbelieving spouse leaves, let that be. And it also talks about, infidelity and things like that, so there's a time and a space for that, but I just think there is power in kingdom marriage, right? There's power in two becoming one. And and I believe that it's a representation of Christ. It's a representation of God. The quote unquote three becoming one, or the three being one. I believe marriage is a representation of that. There is something, and see, I guess all the podcast people missed this, but there is something that both women and men have that the other needs. And I know Mr. Brent started to kind of teach me some things, but like I said, I'm gonna reach out to him today because I feel led to. I think I need to be reaching out to him. But in the meantime, again, for those that just need some resources or something, Marriage Reignited is some. I guess you would consider like an organization I'm partnering with, and there are some discount codes and things like that. For you all to take advantage of. But yeah, y'all be praying for me because I feel like those are pray to those, Jesus Christ, y'all. I be praying for you, girl, because I do feel like I think I'm supposed to be doing something when it comes to that. But yeah. Let's see. Mr. Frank says most young couples get married thinking about great sex all the time. What is your experience that you could tell a couple thinking about getting married and being married throughout the years? Well, great questions. I know that's like multifaceted there. Well, let's take a look. Let's break it down. So let's see. Most young couples get married thinking about great sex all the time. Well, I think I probably was one of those individuals thinking about that and everything like that. But I've had to compromise, you know what I'm saying? I've had to, and I understand that at the end of the day, I can't expect my husband to always be on his back or whatever, you know what I mean? Like he obviously is the main, I would say, breadwinner, and everything like that. And so, and even though, yes, he's in this quote unquote boot camp training situation, but I am so proud of him for stepping out on faith and really going for his dream of being a software and in software development and things like that. And he's been there to lift me up when it comes to my dreams and everything like that. And so, just because I might not get all the sex that I want right now, don't mean it doesn't take away from him being the perfect man for me. I just have to be patient, right, as a wife and stuff like that. Yes, I believe in what the Bible has to say about it. I believe that, couples should come together as often as possible, unless they decide to take a break. And this is biblical. I'm not making this up. This is biblical. That couples should come together as often as possible because yes, the devil will try to come in and break up these marriages using sex, and desires and all those different type of things. So I do take that seriously, but at the same time, I guess I'm a pretty much understanding individual overall. And so, I have been praying and exercising patience when it comes to all of that. And the Lord has shown me, giving me grace and mercy. And he allows me to show my husband grace and mercy. So yeah, that's how I deal with that. But anyway, what would I tell a couple about to get married? I would tell them what I just said in the juice. That if you're not willing to help someone else, you may not be ready for marriage. Because I believe that that's what it's about. Again, my husband has been there to help me in my low moments, and I've been here to help him in his. And there was a couple that I taught to 50 years of marriage, and her main advice, I didn't write it down. Okay, I got it in my phone, I think. Her main advice though was like for basically keep people out of your ear, keep people out of your house, and keep people out of your business. That was her main advice. But she said a lot of other things, gave me a lot of other wisdom, the wife. And, she told me about some hard times that her and her husband went through, that people may not know about, but at the end of the day, as long as they had a roof over their head and food and whatnot, they were fine. Now, whether they, if anything else was going on or whatever the case is, that didn't matter, or whatever, at least to her. That's what she was saying. So, and so, yeah, I admire that. I, pray that me and my husband will get there and we we're only 6 years in, but prayerfully will be that couple 50 years from now, whatever the case is, hopefully encouraging and inspiring the next couples. And then, those that are married, I just my main advice to those that are already married is to, again, get into the word and see what the word has to say about being a husband and being a wife. What that's supposed to look like and everything like that. And it's not just about, I know people take issue with this concept of submission and everything like that. And I think, for whatever reason, that's been put out as something where it's like, oh, a man is just expecting me to be his servant or whatever the case is. And I mean, maybe in some ways, but maybe not in other ways. Like, because the Bible, I feel like the Bible is equal in that. Like, people don't pay attention to those verses that are talking to the men, but it's telling the man to literally lay down his life for his, wife and family, like Christ did. And that's huge. That's a huge, huge thing. But people are making light of that for whatever reason. And if a man is really truly doing that, then he should be, honored for that, anyway. And again, the Proverbs 31 woman, when you look at her, she was a wife, she was an entrepreneur, she bought land, all these different type of things. So there's nothing, I didn't see anything that was just like, so, I mean, it spoke of her husband, and I'm sure she was submissive to him as well. I mean, but it wasn't looked at like bad. And you know what? I came across this verse, and it was talking about like the master dynamic. And I know people take issue with that in the Bible too, but I never looked at it this way. And I read it this morning, and it was talking about how, if you are in a situation where someone is treating you bad, if you can you continue to do good and do good, whatever, in spite of those things, the Lord sees that and he honors that and he values that. Because at the end of the day, that's what Christ did for us. So at the end of the, like, people are taking issue with the main thing that Christ did for us. That's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, you feeling some kind of way because the Bible tells you to submit to your husband, when Christ did it to becoming human and being beaten, all these different things for us. Like, we appreciate the grace and mercy and all the things that Christ did for us, but then we don't want to do anything near that for our fellow man, for our husband, or whatever the case is. And so that was something I came across this morning that I don't know, it really stood out, and I had never come across it before, but yeah, so I was supposed to share it. So thank you, Mr. New Frank, for asking these questions, and I hope that answered them and everything like that. Like I said, I enjoy being a wife. 6 years in, we're working on year 7 now. Lord's will and everything like that. My husband, he seemed like he's still pleased and stuff. I mean, hopefully y'all get to meet him soon. We still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and he said he will be on the channel once we get there. I guess he was hoping that would give y'all some motivation to start subscribing to us. But yeah, if y'all want to meet the invisible man, help me get to 1,000 subscribers, y'all. Mr. Frank says, good answer. Thank you. I just hope that it's encouraging and inspiring. It's sad though. It really is sad, the dynamics of men and women. And then today, I think by me studying this today, it just really, really showed me like just how much everything biblical is being attacked. Everything. But when I think about marriage, right, this concept of marriage, biblical marriage, husband and wife, that is really being attacked on so many sides. The man is being attacked, women are being attacked, the dynamics between each other, they're attacking each other, then the concepts of, wait, I don't need this one don't need the other. That concept is another form of attack. Then the concept of not even understanding who you are. That, am I a man? Am I a woman? That's an attack as well. Like, people should ask questions about why that is. That's what I think. And anyway, look, you done got me even deeper on here, Mr. Frank. Now you done got me going even deeper today. But yeah, like I said, the word has plenty to say about husbands and wives and stuff. So y'all can go deeper on that stuff on your own. I didn't necessarily feel it to go deeper about that stuff today. But yeah, that's the juice, y'all. That's it. That's all I had to say about all of that. Like I said, y'all, I forgot to say it earlier, but don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to, do that better. So yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, y'all. Trying to create more content here, maybe, I don't know, maybe I need to make some content centered around marriages. Hopefully the Lord show me what to do. But all right, y'all. Well, I guess look, all hearts and minds clear. Any other questions, comments, concerns before I go? I'll give it a couple more seconds, but yeah, y'all. That's all from me then. That's it. All right. Well, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, sharing, and I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.